Walter Edgerton, better known as Kentucky RoseBud, born November 18th, 1856 in Raleigh, North Carolina. He died May 4th, 1930 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm Scrapbook Boxing, and I would like to go over the Kentucky RoseBud's career with you. This young man has been in with two all-time greats, Joe Gans and George Dixon. And he was also in the ring with Harry Smith and John Henry Johnson. Let's take a look at his career right here on the Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. Quite a fighter he was. Let's take a look. Stood 5 foot 4 inches, weighed 115 to 128 pounds. He was managed by Jimmy Hale from North Carolina, Tar Heel State. He was a colored boxer who ironically fell into the hands of a beautiful German immigrant. Now, there's two sides to this story. The first side came from Walter Edgerton himself. And he stated that this beautiful German immigrant came to the United States with her husband. She was 9 months pregnant. As soon as they hit the United States soil, her husband vanished and disappeared. He left her pregnant 9 months. And because she fell into the arms of Walter Edgerton, according to him, very compassionate he was, he stayed with her through the duration of her pregnancy. And he would claim the unborn child. And at birth, he would give the name Nettie. Now there's another side of this story. That Edgerton had tried to hustle a game on this young woman. She had no place to go, no place to stay, and according to the press, he tried to manipulate her. So they would take the baby away. And this bothered Walter Edgerton because he wanted to be a father and care for this young child. Now, the Kentucky RoseBud became a professional at the age of 26, 6 years less experience than the average fighter at that time. He faced Johnny Banks at the Philadelphia Arena, August 31st, 1882. It was not quite clear as to why he decided to box and turn professional at the age of 26. However, there are theories and questions as to why he has decided to turn professional at the age of 26. Perhaps a former pro under a different name. One sign of this was a 6-fight series with the Canadian bantamweight and featherweight champion, Little Chocolate, George Dixon. You see, the Kentucky RoseBud had smashed the right hand to Dixon's face, and the champion fell like a sack of potatoes. The referee and John Cole and Dixon's manager, Tom Rocky, had helped carry the out-cold Dixon back to his corner. Now, word got around the United States through the newspapers, and immediately John Rocky tried to change the story. May 4th, 1896. June 21st, 1897. He was involved in some unbelievable matches during those years. But he would have 6 bouts with Little Chocolate, George Dixon. August 29th, November 11th, 1992. June 1893, March 22nd, and June 13th. We would have 2 bouts with the old master, Joe Gans. 1895, April 2nd, and April 25, Baltimore, Maryland. Lost 6 and lost 7. 12 bouts with John Henry Johnson, Young Starlight, Young Griffo, who was a former champion, Barney Riley, Billy Peterson, and Wilbur Gross. He would even take part in an outstanding match with the colored middleweight champion, Harry Smith, January 4th, 1898. Chester, Pennsylvania. He would lose in 6 rounds. George Dixon, Little Chocolate, was born July 29th, 1870, in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada. He died January 6, 1909, in New York. George Dixon was the first black champion to win a world title in any sport in history. First black fighter to win the world bantamweight and featherweight champion in the art of pugilism. He moved to Boston from 1887. Dixon became bantamweight champion by knocking out Luke Wallace of England in the 18th round on June 27th, 1890. July 28th, 1891, he knocked out Abe Wells of Australia in the 5th round. October 4th, 1897, he lost a 20-round decision to Solly Smith. Also, he resigned the title November 11th, 1898. He defeated Dave Sullivan in a 10-round in New York. Until January 9th, 1900, he was knocked out by Terry McGovern in 8 rounds. Now this took place in New York. He was a 20-year professional boxer. Had well over 1,000 fights, some unrecorded. He was involved in battle royales. He discovered shadow boxing. Very intellectual fighter was George Dixon. 1886, 1906, 33 championship bouts under his belt. He was elected to the Boxing Hall of Fame in 1956. And when you get back to RoseBud, he was eventually sentenced to 2 years because of illegal gambling and prostitution. In 1912, he was released in 1914. In 1915, a promoter convinced him at the age of 60 to fight his own nemesis, John Henry Johnson. Now, he retired in 1916 and went back to shining shoes for a living, as did Sidney Walker after fighting 21 main event bouts in New York's Madison Square Garden. Till this day, a record that has not been broken. Sidney Walker was named Bojack, one of the greatest lightweight champions of all time. He himself went back to Miami and began shining shoes. Middleweight champion Harlem's Harry Smith was another fighter that RoseBud would entertain. His name was the Harlem Thunderbolt. He was born October 28th, 1907 in Kingston, Jamaica. He died September 19th, 1933 in Chicago, Illinois. Stood 6 foot 1 inch. Weighed 155 to 175 pounds. He was managed by Dave Brown. He would become the colored middleweight champion of the world. 1931 when he defeated Harlem's Jack McVeigh. He defeated Yale Oki, Jack McVeigh, William Gorilla Jones, Pal Silvers, Sandy Garrison, Jim Francis, Homer Roberts, Canadian light heavyweight champion Charlie Ballinger, and Dynamite Jackson. Walter Edgerton was another forgotten fighter that put on some outstanding fights. Began boxing at the age of 26. Had his last fight at the age of 60. was in there with the colored middleweight champion, Harry Smith. Featherweight and bantamweight champion George Dixon, who had well over 1,000 fights and discovered shadowboxing, was in there with the old master, Joe Gans, twice. He discovered the jab and the 1-2. Joe Gans threw a fight in 42 rounds. And till this day, it's unclear. My understanding is his family was threatened. He threw a fight to Battling Nelson. But the Kentucky RoseBud, another fighter, who, if you study his history, showed that he was a fantastic fighter. Salute to the Kentucky RoseBud. Salute to my subscribers. All great fights and all great fighters will never be forgotten on my channel. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Salute to these unfortunate circumstances and the fighters that were forgotten, that will always be remembered right here on the Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series.